Hello and welcome back to Addendums, everybody. Today's lesson, we'll be focusing on chord cliff notes. Now, the definition of a chord is two or more notes sounding simultaneously. By the end of today, you will be able to construct a triad, a seventh chord, and a power chord. Now, a triad, based on its name, will be 3 notes. A seventh chord, though, will be 4 notes, and the power chord will be 2 notes, sounding simultaneously. So let's start this off right. Let's make a C major triad. Now, to help us out, I'm going to write down the C major scale and then number the notes. Technically, there are 8 notes, but because the top note is the same as the bottom note, we'll just recall it 1. So a triad uses 3 notes: the first, the third, and the fifth of the scale. Now, the scale is based upon the first note, something else that we call the root. Now, the root is extremely important. It tells you what scale you'll be working inside of. If the root were, say, E, we would work inside the E major scale. So the root is C, because we have a C major triad. So this is easy. The root is C, the third then is E, and the fifth is then G. This is the C major triad. Let's try it with a different chord. For example, A major. We'll make an A major triad. This will force us to use some of our key knowledge. Remember, A has 3 sharps in it. Fat cats go. So F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp in that scale. Let's number them this time just in case. So we have the first, the third, and the fifth. Remember, the root in this case will be A because it's an A major chord. And the third being C sharp because that fits inside the A scale. And the fifth is E. All of these equal the A major triad. Now, what if I change one thing? What if we have a seventh chord instead? I think triads, we kind of understand what's going on. The first, the third, the fifth, but now the seventh. Well, we have 4 notes that need to be sounding. We have the first, the third, the fifth. Now the name of the seventh makes more sense. We're not dealing with 7 notes, we're dealing with 4. And now we have the root, the third, the fifth, and the seventh. Hence the name, the seventh chord. There are many kinds of seventh chords. There's the half diminished, the full diminished, the minor, and the standard. We'll be working with the standard. It fits inside the scale and is the most commonly used. So our root then is A, third is C sharp, fifth is E, and the seventh is G sharp. Good, good, good. Got it? Awesome. Let's do something a little different. Let's have a D power chord. So if we remember from our training so far, D has 2 sharps in it, fat and cat, so F sharp and C sharp. It only has 2 notes sounding. It's lacking the third. We only have the first and the fifth. So if we're looking at a D power chord, our root is then D. And then our fifth, if you count right, will be A. And that is how a power chord is constructed. Now I want to take a moment to talk about something called quality. Quality is the difference between major and minor and the plethora of other chords. Now, major and minor are not the only type of chord. There are chords called augmented, diminished, Neapolitan, and many, many others. We will tackle these in a later video. But why am I mentioning quality? Well, I want to give you a little challenge. I want to see if you can make a minor chord. So let's focus on G minor. G minor triads. I don't think you need the scale quite yet, so let's just construct the triad. When you construct a minor triad, the most important part is the third. The third denotes the quality of the chord. That's why power chords are ambiguous. They only have the root in the fifth. What we do to the third will change the entire quality of the chord. So our root is G, fifth is D, and our third would normally be B. But when you make something minor, you do something to the third. It means flat third, or lower the third by 1/2 step. It doesn't necessarily mean it has a flat. You just lower it by 1/2 step. Now in this case, B, lower it 1/2 step, it becomes B flat. Let's put this into practice in another way. We can leave all these other areas, but let's change the name of the chord. Let's say have an E minor chord. So I'm writing up the E scale now. We've got 4 sharps to work with. Root is E, the fifth is then B, and the third would normally be G sharp. But in minor, we're going to go down 1/2 step, which means we get rid of the sharp. Sharps and flats cancel each other out. So if you lower a sharp 1/2 step, it becomes just a regular note. If I lowered it another 1/2 step, it would become G flat. But this right now is an E minor chord. This should prepare you to at least begin constructing major or minor triads and have a basic understanding of seventh chords and power chords, just in their basic construction. All the chord qualities will be explored in a core lesson sometime in the future. There are a lot, so hang in there. But thanks a lot for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Please like that video, subscribe, share, all these wonderful things. If you have any questions, like if you're an educator and need to know what's up, leave a comment. I will respond to it. Have an awesome day. Please continue to rock on. See you later.